Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of Conception Conversations. I'm not rolling alone today. I have a special guest. For all those that don't know, this man is an award-winning lyricist, a rap artist, the biggest, my personal favorite in the game in Eswatini.
Whoa.
This man has won so many awards, so many accolades. And yeah, man, I'm so happy to have him here. He goes by the name of formerly known as Lution and now known as Lution. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Let's cheers to that.
I felt important right there, man. Thank you so much. Thank you to the Conception Conversation. Feels good to be here. I like how the pilots actually landed. So when you gave me the call, I was like, let's do it, bro.
I had to.
Shout
bro.
out CJ, let's do it.
I had to, bro. So looking at your accolades, you've done so much for the game in Eswatini, and I had to get my research on point.
Right.
I had to get my research on point.
Let's talk
So I
about
think
it.
we'll just start off in 2008. This man was the champion of World War III rap battles, Tinker's champion of love hip hop battles,
For the love of hip hop. Yeah.
One Love Reggae Festival, University of Swaziland, Vasi Awards. Yo, you've done so much for the game, and the list goes on and on and on. So tell me about that, bro. I see that you are part of the season scoop.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah.
I think we could just kick it off there, and you can tell us about that.
Oh, that's dope. I'll just give you just a quick synopsis of the prior before where we get to the season scoop. So I come back to the kingdom after matriculating Metropolitan College in Nelspruit. So when I came back to the kingdom, I met different cliques, your movement, and then there was this thing called World War III battles where I won. I think I battled about probably 17 rappers plus minus.
Damn, wow.
And I took them all out. Pa.
Damn,
That's
wow.
how I first made a name in the kingdom. First time in the paper and in the capacity of, besides Vela, go to the first class with merit.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was in the capacity of a musician. And then after that, Claim and Ground Records, shout out to Mosaic and the whole stable, they took, I guess their eye locked on the target, which was myself at the time. And they were hosting remember Tinkers, bro?
Yeah, remember
it was a
Tinkers for sure. We used
Tinkers
to groove there,
for the
man.
love of hip hop with Lindelo Mafa and SPITS 2 that hosted a rap battle there. And the finals of that battle, believe it or not, it was Tripo Intellectual versus Psycho Lution.
And you took him out.
Hey man, I don't play games, man.
You had to KO that
But
man,
respect
bro.
to Tripo.
Jeez.
I know
Shout
Mosaic
out
has
to
the
Tripo.
tapes. So looking forward to when he eventually drops them. I hope he eventually does. And then now, while I was at Claim and Ground Records, I actually I was listening to a lot of SA, especially Gauteng stations, radio stations, and I would listen to a hip hop show called Airborne, and then it switched up to Season Scoop, the full clip with Sizwe Dlomo and Scoop Ngwegazi.
Scoop, yes.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I know some people in Joburg. If I can just go there, probably get accommodation and get to where the studios are, because they had this thing called the unsigned hour, né?
Oh, okay.
So that open it up to whoever is unsigned to come through. But there's like a
spit
screening
bars.
process, which I didn't know. I was like, man, I'll just go through there with my raps. But I was trying to avoid people now, especially, let me not say people, let me say the label. I was trying to avoid the label stopping me from going there, because they probably want to need like I'd say formal letter from YFM saying
like
surety,
actually,
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what, I apologize, but I had to lie. I was like,
You had
yo,
to
they
do
called me, I got a call, I had to go.
And you
right?
had to, yeah.
And which wasn't true, but it was just an act of faith as well. I choose to look at it now, because I started, even when I look at it now, I'm like, hey, that's such a risk, because I started now putting up statuses online. I think it was Facebook at the time, like, yo, catch me on YFM tonight. That time I'm traveling there, I don't even know how I'll get there and guess what, people listened. And first time I arrived, I didn't know there's a screening process where Scoop comes out, screen gang rappers. There's like a lot of
like
rappers.
an interview type basis, or
No, not even interview. Like you come in to rap.
To rap.
It's like 60 seconds of fame, basically.
I see.
travel all the way for a 60 seconds of fame kind of an opportunity.
Yeah.
God willing, it worked out perfectly. Just to time lapse it, got there. I had to stay an extra week because I was able to make it into the studio. And then by the time I'm supposed to rap, it was time up because it's radio. So I had to stay an extra week. Now I'm over angry and I'm mad because I can't now tell people, Ace, sorry guys, I couldn't make it online, right? But I was like, you know what, I'm not going back to the kingdom until this thing happens. Exactly. Following week,
bro.
the rest was history, bro, because Cesar Lomo is my mentor right today. Kept on calling me back. Yo, come back next week. Come back next week. Are you still in touch
with him right now?
Yeah, very much so. I believe in mentors, so he's one of my mentors. I collect mentors like Pokemons. Yeah, so it's a lot of guidance and advice that I receive him. But back then, he was like, come back next week. Yo, come back next week. Yo, do you have music? He put at the time I was pushing Singaba. I didn't have my music out. I pushed Singaba, and Singaba actually made it to #1 for 3 weeks on the Hip Hop Hot 99 season scoop. The song that wasn't even a single, it's a song that I was on because they didn't have any of my music. But not to say the song wasn't as dope as well, because that album is a classic. So in a nutshell, that's what happened with the YFM season scoop. And then they had mixtapes. I think they dropped about 7 mixtapes, and I'm on 4 of those mixtapes.
Can we still like check your episode or something?
Yeah, definitely. If you search on YouTube, if you look for season scoop, Psycho Lution, you probably find it. Even Google, they probably have different links everywhere.
I mean, there was a good platform actually to put on like rap artists, upcoming rap artists. I don't know what happened. Do you know what happened? I think
it's time, bro. Time just switches with the weather. I think because there are shows that came after that, but in different radio stations. I think it was SPITS. I forgot who was doing the show with Loot Love on Metro FM. There were different other hip hop shows. I don't know what's currently hip hop on the radio right now, because hip hop also went through a hiatus of some sort. I think it's only now we're starting to resuscitate.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm speaking of radio. I know you're a radio personality as well. Can you dive deep into it and tell us about what you do on radio?
Shout out. First and foremost, shout out to Boston Media House. That's where I graduated. And while I was there, I was studying everything media, and then I was specializing in radio and sound engineering. So while I was there, before I even got there, shout out to SPITS too, because I had worked there for like probably 2 years prior to me leaving to school.
Boston
so that's where I got my passion. Superfly was like, yo, this is a speciality show, Christmas. Can you produce it and be on air? I was like, what? And that's where I was like, whoa, I want to study more of this. So when I went to Boston, I studied everything media. So I graduated as media practitioner, but with the radio element. There's a campus radio station called BMH Radio.
At the school?
Yeah, at the campus. So when I went into, because I was doubling as a student and working at BMH Radio. So I was working as a presenter and audio producer, right? Doing the jingles and the sweepers and imaging, just the station imaging, right? But I was working with a team at the beginning, and then I guess I was outworking a lot of them because a lot of them didn't stand. So I was able to now be in a position where I was promoted to be the station manager. I mean, that came later. Station producer.
Wow.
So the rest of the team that came after the recruiting process were working under my direction and of course guidance from Tim, who's also one of my mentors. And then because of school and also doing the production and also having to be on radio, on air, I had to now sacrifice because my time was suffering, right? So I had to let go of being on the mic because I felt like that can always come back. Let me learn more on the production, and the sound engineering. So that actually moved me. One of our bosses then got another job, and then they had to promote someone. And then I was then promoted to be a co-station manager at BMH Radio, which was a staff of 32 people, from news readers to researchers to presenters, producers, you name it, videographers as well. So it was a great learning curve on the radio fraternity outside of just being on the microphone. So it was a very great leap, man.
Shout out for the hard work. So basically in SA, were you able to make those connections?
100%.
I think Boston Media is around Sandton, right?
Yes. Well, there's 3 campuses. There's the Sandton, Pretoria, and Durban. I was in the Sandton one.
Yeah. So how was that lifestyle in terms of rapping and everything?
I'd say since I got there, the culture of rap was changing.
What year was this, by the way?
This was 2014.
2014.
Yeah, 2014 was my first year.
SA was doing hard.
It was lit.
Going hard,
so we'd have like ciphers in the canteen, and it was just a whole culture thing. And it was almost like futuristic stuff because homies would now come through with Bluetooth speakers, no more beatboxes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
sure,
saying?
yeah.
So over the years, I'd see it really decline. That's really me being harsh on it because it's just changed.
But it's facts though.
In terms of culture, it wasn't as it was at the beginning. However, there was a lot of inspiration from a freestyle perspective and to also connecting because I was also performing in different areas like your Soweto, your Midrand and whatever. So I'd also have the music on the side until second year where I had to let the music chill. But it's funny how there wasn't that much of a difference because I was still record, I was just not releasing and performing just so we graduate.
For sure,
Yeah.
man. For sure. Shout out to you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Speaking of the beginning, you said a beautiful word, the beginning.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning, all right? So when were you able to know that you can actually spit bars? At what age did you start the word play, the rhyme schemes?
I think that came a bit later, right?
Okay.
When I started rapping, I didn't write raps for the sake of recording or seeing myself as an artist. I'd write raps to take out rappers and ciphers. So I started
for
off as a
that sake,
battle
yeah.
rapper. So
Battle rap, yeah.
it was very, I'd say, animated and very vivid imagery influence kind of writing. Imagine a lyric like snatching your spinal bone just so you can understand. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have to think very intricate just to say a simple message. When I was starting to write, I think I was 14 years old. Yeah, I must have been 14 years old. And then when I started recording, I was 16 years old. And then when I started releasing was 19 years old. So that's 2004, 2006, and 2009 when the first project came out. So I'd say realization would be metric time, which was just the year before I came back to the kingdom, which was 2008 when that starts.
When that starts.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You are really very articulate about the words you speak. You're very fluent in the
Thank
English
you.
language. And I'd just love to know where you went to high school. Ngubani tishela wakho ekusasa?
Actually, bengingasathi mina
Unemanga?
kutshala. Well, bengistutsa to tell you the honest truth.
Okay.
Ngifundze St. Mark's Primary.
Serious?
And here's the thing, I could be wrong, but I feel like was what is sibhala ema Siswati speakers. Vele ish. It's like almost Hitler strong arm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Versus when I went to high school, Esfunzayan. Now it was like a paradigm shift because ngitelwe nje sihlala kaMsunduze eMobeni, the flats there.
Okay,
yeah. So my friends silalela iKwaito, Zambia, Diski, Shibobo Siphathu, you know what I'm saying? And nangifika esigele, it's Cheese Boys on Cheese Boys talking 8 Mile, 50 Cent had just dropped, you know, VMA Awards, all of that stuff. So it was a fast forward rewind because and stuff that you can't speak about with the homies at school, at home also, right? So that kind of worked as a culture shock, but in retrospect is exactly what I needed because I'm able to be I guess chameleon in a sense,
you can
or in terms of
diversify,
dialect. Yes, exactly.
Different.
And which works better with the music, especially with this latest project, because I feel like I was able to balance.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of the latest album, it's out right now.
Yes, it's out right
on
now.
All digital platforms,
yeah.
Of course. It's called The Autonomy by Lution. You guys must search that out.
Right.
So when it comes to the creative process, what were you thinking? In what state were you as an artist?
So with this is my 5th project, right? So with every project that I'm fortunate to create, I step out of doing it the same way I did it before, right? So first project I did it with Mosaic, Claim and Crown. Second one I did it with Ziawa, and that had 38 tracks. It was purely just spazzing because I think I had a lot to prove because that's when the autonomy started because that's when I was independent.
So it started way back.
Yeah, like the action of it, the manifestation of it, because this year we're celebrating 10 years of Lution music, which is the autonomy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So
yeah.
basically, since then, I then released in 2015 the description, and with that was also years in the making of different producers with sub jams, with Mosaic, with different artists as well. And then with the College Kid, I went straight YouTube beats.
Okay.
Yeah, I went straight YouTube beats, and I was documenting my whole life in college. Before I knew it, because of the lyrics I was writing, because it's always real life documentarian type of approach, right? Yeah. So I realized, wait a minute, I'm talking about campus all along. You know what? Let's be intentional now and create a whole project, College Kid, aka Semester Kids. You know, and then now with the autonomy, I feel like it marks 10,000 hours of repetition. Leading from, I guess, amateur to mastery. Of course, it's always a process, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and be acting like Master Splinter. But I feel like it's a result of all of these connections, all of these conversations, and just different hard work that you've been putting in throughout the years. And then creative process, just to connect to what you were asking. With this one, it's probably like the easiest project I've ever made, bro.
Serious?
I promise you. Why I say this is because all the other projects, maybe second easiest. Because I'd say College Kid, because that one I did 3 studio sessions and I knocked out 10 tracks. So that one was like almost, let me breathe, right? Yeah. And then with this one, the reason why I bring it closer to easy, I'm not saying it wasn't challenging. Easy would mean it didn't tax my time. And because with this project, I wasn't in studio for X amount of time creating a project. Okay. I would just record music that I've just finished writing because I had stuff to say. So throughout living my life, I'll be like, okay, you know what? I have this Chaboy runs Red Jam Productions under XLR Media. Okay. I think we will talk about that later. So I'm like, bro, do you have studio time tomorrow? Yeah. What time? I'll just come through, knock out a track, listen to it at home. Live about my life, come back again. It's only the last maybe 2 weeks before, maybe 3 weeks before release, where we were like, okay, now we fine-tuning, playlisting, compiling, structuring, all of that. We need this kind of skit there. We need this kind of cadence to be emphasized there. That kind of technical approach. So it's been effortless but challenging. Hence equals easy.
You speak of we. I think I'd love to know who you work with at the studio. Who's your producer?
I work with God, bro.
For sure.
I work
Shout
with
out
God,
to God,
son.
Man, yeah.
I joke, but I'm being for real. And
they didn't believe in us.
They didn't.
But God did.
God did, bro.
Yes, sir. Shout out to J. Khaled.
Like we were speaking to him 2 days ago, right?
You know, yeah.
I work with. I'm fortunate to be in a position where I'm blessed with a team, bro. And it's a registered company called XLR Media. We are both in the corporate and popular culture spaces, right? From the corporate side, we do adverts, from audio production and AV. There's a couple of clients that I can't say because NDA. However, on the popular culture side of things, there's the XLR plug with Nolo D, who's based in Joburg. She interviews all the influential, people in the walks of life in the kingdom and in, I'd say, Africa, really, because season 2 was covering beyond the kingdom. And then there's Tiger Does It, who does our graphics. Everything that you see that is graphic representation, that's Tiger Does It. And then Alex Muti is also part of the team who does the motion graphics and the post-production editing and the tiny bites that we have here and there. And then what I do the audio production side of things. Chaboy is under Red Jam Productions, which is also under XLR Media. Now, Red Jam records the musicians. We do have a roster. Look out for Kena's project. Look out for Jael Lapo. Look out for Tella. The list goes on. Blue Jay as well. So there's also that wing which is under Chaboy. So whenever I want to record from a corporate jingle to a song for the album, Red Jam caters for that. And then there's obviously all other members. There's about 12 of us in total. It's a podcast. I know it's long enough, but I can't mention everybody. But it's a very strong team of healthy professional individuals. Yeah.
I mean, it shows. from the last listening session that you invited us.
You are also part of it. You like
I'm
a cousin of
you know,
XLR, really, if we tell the truth.
Big shout out to the team, man, for putting that together. I love
Shout
the
out.
graphics, the music, and everything. It was basically the best show I've attended in a long
Wow,
hip hop
that's
show I've
real.
attended in a long time, bro.
That's real, man.
I mean, I remember the days of head count.
Yeah, classic times.
You know, yeah. So I mean, from that, comparing the times of head counts to now, what would you say changed in the music industry in Eswatini?
That's a beautiful question, bro, because I feel like it's a teachable moment in the sense
Of course.
I feel like, man, I look at hip hop because I can only speak for hip hop because I'm off the culture, right? I feel like hip hop in the kingdom has gone through evolutions. Shout out to Lusoloja who actually opened my eyes about understanding this. We are currently on season 5. There was season 1 of the era of Reconnects, Soldier Within, Grandmaster Chilla. That's like back in the day, early 90s. And then late 90s, early 2000s was season 2. But Anaconda, Courtesy, C4, Jazz P, you name them, you know.
You're making me feel young right now. But I don't know this.
It's
He's
history
exposing his age, by the way, right now.
Look, man, we are blessed to live long. Who prays to
he's
die?
An OG. He's an OG. Respect.
Thank you, man.
For sure.
And then season 3, that was our generation with Clipo Intellectual, Diba, Cracks, you name them, right? And then season 4 was the era yabo Lyrical Basta, 80 Script, Kena, you name them. So right now, we're in season 5. Where you have your OG Kings, you have your Arcades, Blue Jays, Lucy Gangchild. It's a mess. So what I say all of this to say, I look at soccer, I look at a music, hip hop culture like the soccer, football culture, right? I feel like we could learn a lot from that in the sense of like your Jomo Sono, who was there back in the day, still in the culture right now. Yes, he's not the best in the game, but he's still part of the culture. There's also other OGs who are either not owning teams, not only owning teams, but also coaching, Zinedine Zidane, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Be a part of the culture. It's a huge challenge actually to all the other generations or seasons, as I have explained, to actually create these platforms, because as much as we can keep waiting for corporates to create these platforms, we are still going to complain because we'll be like, no, they don't do it right, we are part of the culture.
Do it this way.
Exactly. Now we need to go into these doors because we know better. The current generation can only learn from us. Now we need to come up with these platforms. I've tried to play my role. Of course it's not enough because it's only, there's always going to be potential with XLR Media, with Kingdom XLR Music Compilation. We're on episode 15 now, where it's a whole compilation of 100% local music, urban, popular culture
and
music.
I like how Kingdom XLR puts on the new upcoming artists as well. For sure. I think that's where you're mostly focused on like showing the talent of Eswatini and these rappers. So shout out to you for that, man.
Thank you, man.
Man.
Because hip hop is a young man's sport, dog. So you want to now acknowledge what time it is. As much as I just dropped the project, I need to know my position in the food chain and not try to jack the mic from the cat who just needs it right now. Why am I going for the open mic? Why don't I create it, or at least give out something that can assist, even if it's advice, bro?
For sure, most definitely. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Conception Barbers. A big shout out to Conception Barbers, one of my favorite barbershops in Eswatini, currently at number 1. This barbershop is located at Stwashini,
Litemba Park at 984 Unit 7. So get here and get your hair cut nice.
For sure. So, I mean, you have shared the stage with a lot of big artists in the name of AKA Big Nas. Maybe you can tell us about that experience, man.
I didn't mean shit, dog.
You didn't share it.
Well, I did, but it's not a big woo-ha in my life like that. It's a blessing, yes, I do agree, but I feel like there's more value if we get to a space where now we get, because I don't understand the idea of elevating ourselves according to I opened for. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a one step forward, three steps back type of approach. And not to shoot how you asked the question. I'm just addressing a stigma that we currently have. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so yes, I did share from legends like Ben Sharper, your Pro Kids, your Doomy, Stogie T now. I feel like now with our promoters, in fact, it's a challenge that, whenever you bring these guys in the kingdom, go the extra mile of whoever you have there, because they're already taking a sacrifice of big name, small local name all the time. So at least go the extra mile of, if your manager is keen, I can link your manager up with his manager, and then you out. You don't have to do much. If they love what they hear from them, then the rest is history.
And then the managers can collaborate. And
I see it as shout out accolades and history recorded, but I feel like it would mean more than what it is on paper.
For sure. Most definitely. You put it in the right words. Respect. For sure, man. So who's your favorite artist in Eswatini?
Tipo Intellectual, without a doubt. I feel like, man, Tipo Intellectual is a gem that needs to be celebrated more. I also challenge him on camera to drop the music. Tipo got like 5 albums.
Drop the music, bro. The fans are out here waiting on you, bro.
5 albums unreleased. So that's my favorite rapper. Still doesn't have an album out, but he's still a legend in the kingdom.
Maybe you can give us a short top 5 list
of artists in the kingdom.
For sure, most definitely.
I can give you maybe like new school and old school, because
most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll start with new school. It has to be in an order. It is a top 5. Okay. I'd put Blue Jay number 1.
Ooh,
yeah, put Blue Jay number 1. Look out for his album, masterpiece, bro. It's called Childish Dreams. And then I'd say with the new school, I'd say Lucy Gang Child number 2.
Hey, BARZ there, bro. He's got
damn
some
right,
bars.
Lucy Gang Child number 2. I'd say these rappers are going to eat me up, man. There's a lot that are dope. I'd say number 3, based on how I feel like today, by the way. I'd give number 3 to AZ. AZ is a lyricist, vocalist, and a half. Her writing is astro, bro. And then number 4.
Shout out to the female, right?
Yeah, she's
Shout out
female,
to the female rappers. Almost got it wrong there. Shout out to the female rappers. We see y'all.
Shout out to the dope rappers who happen to be female too. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like females get
it's
a lot of
putting them in a box.
They get a lot of stick for saying,
yo,
female rappers rap. Sure. You're gonna get to rap late, but you're just female for now. But I like the fact that there's a rise of female rappers in the sense in the taste of your originals, your Milkies, you name it. And then I'd say number 4. Tricky now. Number 4, I'd go with Lucid Music. I feel like the game is sleeping on Lucid Music.
He's also a heavy lyricist, by the way.
Heavy. And this album is one of the best I've heard post-COVID, bro. That album is like, whoa. Anyway, and then number 5, based on how I'm feeling today, number 5 is actually number 1. It's me, nigga.
Yes, sir. Shout out.
I'm cloudy, but let me put number 5 for real. Number 5, I'll put... I would put Greg XV.
That's my boy too. That's
shout out Greg XV, especially because Greg XV goes beyond just writing. He's got the meanest freestyles I've ever heard in my life. Like his freestyles sound like written. I bet he can body rappers with a freestyle on the track who spend days perfecting their verses.
For sure.
I put that on Kyle.
For sure. So speak about writing. Do you still write your rhymes, your lyrics?
Yeah, definitely, bro.
On
I write
paper or on a phone?
No, Tipo Intellectual. Shout out to him. I've seen him. Like we take a pen and paper. He takes a walk. You know,
he just takes a walk.
Yeah, he takes a walk and he comes
spinning.
back. It's like, yo, 16 bars or 20 bars. We're like 16 bro. So I write, bro. I write. I read. I write, and that's how my war is. And war is. Writing and rhyming as the acronym of war. However, I think my writing becomes more effortless as the 10,000 hours get clocked in, you know. I find myself writing a lot of raps. By the time I'm done writing, I'm probably 80%, if not 90%, mastering it already. So it's already in my head. I'll find myself just rapping because once you remember the first line, at least with me, it just connects until where I stopped writing. So that over the years, that's the muscle I've gotten, and of course I'm aiming for mastery one day, where I just walk in the studio like Jay-Z or Clippo Intellectual or Lil Wayne and just kick verses and still remember them.
So speaking of artists like Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, which international artists would you actually like to collaborate with? Maybe we can have a top 5 too as well.
Which international artists that I'd like for them to collaborate with me?
Oh, okay. Word switch. I get you.
I'd say, I don't know about would like to collaborate with. I think that's really on God, on how he moves the time, space and everything. But I'd say top 5 would be influence over how I perceive things in the form of hip hop, right? I'd easily put Jay-Z in there. I'd put Nas in there, the irony. I'd also put international. Snap, I'd put Proverb in there because SA is still international in our context. I'd say also, there's 3 already, right?
Yeah.
I'd also put Elzai. His lyricist called Elzai.
Elzai. That's a dope name.
Yeah, from Slum Village. Elzai is amazing. And then I'd also, from Lil Brother, sorry. And then I'd say the last one, very tricky, man. I'd put Disaster from KOTD, like King of the Dot. It's like the rap battle. This guy is crazy with multi-syllable battle rap type of stuff. So yeah, I'd say that's my top 5 right now, how I'm feeling influential rappers and how I perceive things in the context of hip-hop. Yeah.
Sure. I think it's about time he shows us why he's here. He shows us why he's the best. How's the 16, my friend?
Oh, amazing. I thought you'd
know
us, man.
For sure. DJ Bose, hit us with a beat.
Look, I think Illa made it cool to be a whack rapper. So there you have it. I mean that in the most humble way as I laugh after. It ain't sarcastic. I'm barely relating with current affairs in the industry, paving the way to be one of the realest of LMCs. All you people know I'm the best, loyal, lethal, whipping the mass instruction. I wrote the sequel. Get off the rap black consciousness of Steve Biko, but in the kingdom of Eswatini, you know it's me though. For all you people, so pass the message to the rest of y'all. My phone full of sharpshooters, got the best to call to bring the fire like bush fire at the festival. Won't get a fat free nigga, no cholesterol. The Lution will never fall. You stupid, you better call the dude on the pedestal, maneuver the bitter cause. I don't work this hard to be around lazy people with stories. So please pay us the money that you owe. G, you told me that you had to cut the check for your homies, but don't need to be skipping our invoices low key. What's the level now? Not picking up phones, bro. I hate it when it comes to Tom and Jerry with the dough, dog. I don't need to be having a conversation with superiors. Hey, it's mathematics, are you serious? But it's alright though, we build our own house. Kingdom makes a law, man. We build our own route and pave it as a yellow brick road to prosperity. Hey, merging partnership with like-minded energy. The past is history, the future's a mystery. I'm now rapping because the present is a gift to me, but there's no I in a team inside of a dream. So peace to the vision that sees what I in a scene.
Bars! Yo,
man, I got balls on the mic. I got balls on the mic.
Psycholution in the building. Lution in the building, ladies and gentlemen. You got the bars
and the balls on the mic
for sure. I hate it when it's Tom and Jerry when it comes to the dope, bro. Bro, shout out, bro.
Right on.
Shout out to that, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank
Bars.
you. Feels good to be out here.
Bars. Now you know who this man is. For all those that don't know who he is, that's Lution for you. An OG in the game, a lyricist.
Hide your kids, son.
Hide your kids, boy. Jeez. Those are some heavy bars right there, man. It actually reminds me of Sway in the Morning.
Actually, Sway in the Morning should be reminded of Conception Conversations.
The mind switch.
That's it.
The mind switch.
And thank you, man. This is a dream that is being checked, you know.
Shout out to
I love this. Mad respect. Shout out CJ Express. Shout out to Conception Conversations. Shout out to Conception BARZ. Bless up.
So, I'd actually love to find out what inspires your music. What wakes you up in the morning and keep pushing this music industry? I know it's hard here in Swaziland, in Eswatini, and as much as it's hard, but we need to keep going. Right. So what keeps you going?
Bro, I always meditate. Meditation is the best medication, my bro.
Of course.
For real. And however that means, whatever that means to you, do more of it, because we're spiritual beings in a human journey, not human beings in a spiritual journey. So the short answer is God, bro. Without doubt, without thinking 7 times or even twice.
For sure.
So number 1, that's God. And number 2, I'm inspired by I'd say my family structure and support structure that I receive from the team, XLR Media, that is. So that keeps me going, even when I don't feel like waking up in the morning. Just knowing that, I have a great support structure, and there's a whole team that follows a vision that came from God through my brain. So I'm the last person to tire.
So what would you say, I like the fact that you speak about family.
Yeah.
So how did they actually take it that you want to be a rapper? I know it's hard coming from parents' side.
Right.
Our parents want us to get jobs and 9-to-5 jobs and everything. How were you able to have that conversation with your family and say,
well,
guys, I'm a rapper?
For me, to be honest with you, I've got the dopest folks in the world, man.
Shout out.
Because they just support whatever that I love. However, they'll always come through if they see there might be a glitch in the matrix. However, it was a new concept for them that, hey, this rap thing, is it a real thing? Is it passion? Is it business? Is it career? Because there's a point where we were traveling, we were doing all of these things. It looked like a career. I say look like because it's still not, right? It's my life, bro. So with that said, they had to understand that it's my life, and how they got to that, and to even appreciate it as value. I think back in the day when I'd get a show that pays, I'd come back home, pay for DSTV for that month, or maybe buy eggs or bread or electricity.
So they would actually see that it's paid
off.
off.
Hey, this remember that night? Where'd you get this money? Remember that night where I didn't come home? I was performing, so that money brought the eggs today.
Yes, sir.
So I encourage that route too, man, because a lot of parents in our culture or society don't see it as something that can bring value. It's a long way, but I think if you diversify your craft and allow it to be a passion that is gonna eventually be a career one day when it makes sense. But I wouldn't advise you to look at it as a career as of yet. Underline yet.
Yeah, just yet. But we're still opening those doors, right?
Of course. That's why we're here. Yeah. We're going to watch this interview 20 years from now, and the situation will be different. I guarantee it.
For sure. Shout out to
For the better, that is.
Shout out to that motivation, dog.
Thank you, King. Mad respect.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Also, mad props, mad respect to the parents. We really appreciate you for supporting your kids.
Salute.
Even if it's a vision that you guys don't understand as yet, but if you're with them and you support them, give them all the love that they deserve and need, they will be successful. So shout out to y'all guys. Yes, sir. So coming to the album, bro, where can people actually get it?
All digital streaming platforms, all digital music stores, from your Apple Music, iTunes, to Spotify, to Deezer, to Amazon Music, you name it. Just go out there and search for Lution, The Autonomy. It's a 15-track album, 56 minutes, 23 features, 10 producers.
Sir. I know it must be hard for you, but what's your favorite track in the whole album? I know my favorite, dog.
To be honest,
I know my favorite track.
I recorded a lot of tracks that got narrowed down to this. So these, trust and believe, were the ones that I felt like, this was not just me, but the whole XLR and Red Jam Media firm, right? Yeah. But personally, right now, that's always my disclaimer. How I feel right now, I think 3 songs that resonate to the time and who we are as the essence and I'd say identity in the kingdom of Eswatini would be Masonga, which speaks about the whole Inyati regiment, which is part of our fabric as Eswatini, I'd say born citizens and just people. So it also, for the benefits of the cheese boys who don't know.
So sorry to cut you off, bro. Cut you off, bro. I know it might be or might not be a sensitive topic. I know Wabutsega, right?
Yeah, no, it's not sensitive at all.
I also
Wabutsega.
Yeah, Nam Wabutsega.
Oh, Mbutwo.
Shout out.
Kwasa.
And you didn't know this, but I'm under Inyati.
Masonga. Kudla beautiful,
Yes, sir. That's
so
beautiful.
I feel like, man, we need to demystify the preconceived stereotypes about the culture. It's okay, you can have your differences about leadership and whatnot, but the essence and the fabric of the soil, this is who we are. We are Emaswati from the kingdom of Eswatini. It's not a mistake, otherwise you could just re-upload yourself anywhere else. But this is who we are, and this is what we are. I love that because they gave me a swag name, bro.
For sure.
Yeah, they didn't say Mafinvo or something. Shout out Mafinvo if he's out there. But they gave me Tanzing Horse. I actually say it in the song, Masonga.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, and how it came about was I had a default setting of when I don't know what to answer, what I have. I'm like, hey, of course, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was my default answer, and they're like, hey, which was a dope name. I went there with Tripo Intellectual, funny enough. Yeah, we're like, man, what do you mean we are Swazis, bro? Let's go in. You know, and let's go. And we actually went. It was a beautiful process, man.
That was a beautiful experience as well.
I can't tell you Tripo's name because he lives to tell it himself.
Yeah. We can't go deep into this, guys. Yes, sir. Shout out to that, bro. Yo, man. There's a lot we spoke about today. It is surely an honor and a privilege to have you here.
Thank you, man.
Words of inspiration to the upcoming youth. I know this might be a sensitive topic, but there's people who are dealing with depression nowadays, especially the young men out there. What would you love to actually say to the youth? As an OG, I know you've had your mistakes, you've went through the journey, and you've seen so many things. What words of inspiration can you actually say to the viewer out there?
Beautiful, man. You're very right that sometimes it just takes one sentence to just change a perspective of anything that anybody could be going through, be it a trial or tribulation, whatever it is. So I would say you need to understand and figure out that the plan of standing out is knowledge of self and not to blend in with the crowd. So follow where your heart leads. You know, it's better to do what works for you and not what your crew is telling you. Man, don't try to be cool just to gain popularity. Man, rather be you and remain pure. With that, you'll be the one to get ahead in life. All you need to know is self-discipline is the fuel that keeps you going. So stand up for what you believe in and never compromise who you are. Then you'll achieve whatever goal you have in your heart. So understand when you're nearer to understanding the life of the man in your mirror. Those are the words I have.
Shout out Lution, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Be you. I like that. There's a quote that I like actually that says, be you and the world will adjust.
Oh, amazing. Dope. There's another quote that I'd like to add on that.
Sure.
If you don't go within, you go without.
That's beautiful.
Amazing.
That's deep, man.
Blessings,
Yo,
bro.
ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say this, but we've come to the end of our conversation with Mr. Lution. Please make sure you get on all digital platforms. Get his new album, Autonomy.
Yeah.
Dope tracks. My personal favorite, by the way, is Connected Thoughts.
Oh, snap, for real. Shout out Sanilo. Shout out Wigo.
Yo, bro.
Yeah, respect.
Sanilo, she's got some heavy.
She's a diamond. I hope you get to sit with her like this one.
For sure, most def. We need to have females coming into the game as well. So most definitely,
very powerful. Respect.
Most definitely, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our conversation. Big shout out to you. Please make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms. Your Instagram at Conception Conversations, at CJ Express, at Lution XLR.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Conception Barbers, man. Get yourself cuts.
Blessings. Nice. Big thanks. Cheers to that, bro.
Respect,
lovely.
King.
It's been lovely, fam.
Thank you so much. Yes, bless. Hey, big